No excuses. By the time you're 25, you need to be doing these 4 things or you're going to be left behind. Today, I'm going to be talking about retirement planning. I'm going to do it in 2 parts. Okay, so this first part, I want to make sure I focus on when do you start? What type of lifestyle do you want to live? Now, a lot of people don't even think about those topics or those specific things when they're preparing for retirement until like their 40s and 50s. But a lot of times, that's a little late. Okay, because we've talked about value of time. We've talked about the 3 quadrants of time. So now I'm going to focus on when do you actually begin? Well, what I recommend is you need to start when you're at least 25, when you begin that second quadrant of time, 25 to 50, because that's your best earning years. That's when things are going to start happening in your life. All right, so now you want to ask yourself, okay, am I living in my forever home? If you've already purchased a home. If you haven't, where do you want to live? What type of location and what type of home do you want to live in? Is that going to be your forever home, or is that going to be just a starter home to build passive income in the future? So those are the things that you're going to start thinking about, but you need to start thinking about them when you're 25. The second part is what type of lifestyle? Do you want to travel? Are you going to have children? You know, what is going to be in your plans? So now we're thinking about, do I want to be somebody that travels a lot? Do I want to focus on, making sure that I have the resources to live my life and the lifestyle that I want when I'm older? So if that's the lifestyle you want when you're in your 50s and 60s and your golden years, then that's going to be something that you need to start preparing for when you're 25 and between 25 and 50. You really need to start putting that together. Okay, those are the things that I want you to make sure you consider as you're preparing for your future, because your retirement plan actually begins when you start the second quadrant of time. It doesn't start when you're 40 and 50. So those are the things that I want you to consider, your lifestyle, the lifestyle that you want. Okay, so we've talked about homes, we've talked about travel, or your bucket list, if there's something you want to accomplish. Okay, so that's the first concept I want to make sure you're considering when you're thinking about retirement. When does that actually begin? Am I even making the right decisions? Well, let's talk about money. Well, money's a tool. I've spoken about that. Money is strictly a tool. It's nothing to idolize. It's actually a tool to use to build the lifestyle that you want. What decisions are you making right now in life? Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses, or you want to be the Joneses? Are you putting your money away? Are you starting to create investment accounts? Are you starting to buy lavish? Are you trying to live a lavish lifestyle at an early age, or would you rather build up over time the wealth that you're going to need when you're going into your golden years? Okay, so that's another thing. Decisions that you're going to make, and it starts when you're 25. Actually, it starts earlier, but in this part, we're talking about from 25 to 50. Okay, so then you want to start talking about, okay, I got married. What do myself and my spouse want to do? What did we even talk about the lifestyles we are going to have when we come together? Well, I'm going to tell you a little story. When I first got married, I was 24 years old. My wife was 23. We come together. We had just got married. I had already started my career. She was starting to apply for jobs, and I got paid. And at that time, I got paid once a month. So I gave her my check, and I asked her, go ahead and pay our bills. And when I get home, we'll talk about everything. All right, so I go off to work, come home, and she was all excited because she had paid all our bills. And she goes, and I asked her, I said, well, okay, great. And she goes, we even had extra money, so I paid more. And I was like, okay, how much money do we have left? And she goes, well, we have $20 left. And this was the 1st of September, and I got paid once a month. So I freaked out. So I borrowed money to get us through the month. The reality is that was the beginning of my marriage and my wife and myself coming together as a team and building plans. So from that point forward, and I've been married 34 years, we build monthly budgets. Even now, even though we have money to do whatever we want to do, we still created the discipline necessary to be able to save and invest and do the things we want to do, raise our kids, make sure they were taken care of. You know, I was able to retire at 50. The thing is that we were able to do these things because we created a system, we created our discipline, we worked together. That is the key component when you start at a young age. Whether you're married or not, build a budget. Build a budget and stick to it. Make sure you have a piece of that budget that's going into building wealth. If you own a home, that's a good starting point. But those are the things that you want to consider at a very young age. Don't wait till you're older. Don't wait till you're 50 to start saving. The key component of building wealth is time. Time, you don't have an abundant amount of time. I talked about this before in the 3 quadrants. You need to start at least by age 25. Hopefully earlier, but age 25. So that is the one thing I want to leave you with, is build a plan, build a budget, be disciplined, make sure you've broke down exactly where every dollar is going to go. Now that's the next step. When you break down your budget and you're focusing on where do I put my money, remember, each dollar has to have a place. So that is the key component, is the budget, because you're putting a dollar in each bucket. If you don't do that, you're going to spend all your money and you're not going to have enough to get you through the month or get you through the year or pay your bills. So I want to leave you with that. This last step on building a retirement plan starting at a young age is I want to make sure that you understand opportunities. In order to have opportunities later on in life, you have to create options. Part of that is being hungry, making sure you're putting forth effort, making sure that you are establishing your plans, but more importantly, have multiple streams of income. Now, I've shared my opportunities with others. I've actually have offered others to join my team because this is my little crusade of helping people. And a lot of people, even though yes, you can make extra money, you can do other things, you know, in this industry, you can make a lot of money. But people did not want to take the opportunity because I don't have enough time. I want a salary wage job. I don't know a lot about numbers. Numbers make me nervous. I don't like to talk to people. Well, to me, they're all excuses. Because in order to make it in this system that we live in, right, this financial system, the most successful people are entrepreneurs. The most wealthy are entrepreneurs, not employees. So you have to understand, you know, how to create that. Now, you can be an employee, go do, you know, have a job, you know, but then you have a side gig. That's your entrepreneurial spirit. That's the mindset you need to have, okay? You take time to go do other things, well, educate yourself, help others, you know. So those are the things I want to leave you with. That's part 1 of retirement planning. Make sure that you are starting at a young age. That's the most important component of what I'm trying to get across, is it starts early in life.